So we're the Unpanderers. Today we're going to talk about getting a job interviews, and how many people in the United States are missing a job right now. It's actually 6.6 million. So come along and join us as Nick and I discuss all of our opportunities career-wise. So I'm Dan.
And I'm Nick, folks.
We're old friends dissecting one topic at a time. People, technology, media, we've got it all covered.
Each discussion here is a deep dive into our unique perspective. The taboo, forbidden subjects, they're all on the chopping block, baby. We don't pander to popular opinion. We might even get a little bit dirty.
Warning, this podcast may contain mature language and sexual content, and is for infotainment purposes only.
So join us. Have a good time.
Open up your ear holes, because we're going to fondle your follicles.
Hey, yo, everybody. That's my song. It was kind of beautiful.
I love that.
No, you still had the ringing bass notes. Whoever invented that's a genius.
Yeah.
That guy could get a job.
That's all. Yeah, that'll be the one key that makes us famous. Everyone will be like, that bass note?
He lets it ring.
Yeah. I have some corrections from last time.
Please do. Correct us.
We
Correct
talked
us
about
hard, Daddy.
the submarine to the Marianas Trench.
Yeah. 1960.
Oh, well, yes.
Incorrect? Okay.
And then James Cameron did it again. You had a weird note saying like it took 50 years to go back. Yes, it did. James Cameron went back 50 years later. So we didn't go back to the 6.8 miles deep range of the ocean until recently.
Wild.
Mucho recently. Isn't that weird? And we went to space so many times and we didn't.
Why wouldn't we? I have no idea. Unless we found something we didn't want to find.
Oh. Well, that's another curious thing. They said it took about I think an hour to get down there and come back.
That's wild. I wouldn't do it.
Oh, you wouldn't do it? You'd be in a...
You couldn't pay me. You couldn't pay me enough. No.
Imagine if you had like a little leak or something went wrong and you were just...
1100 atmosphere pressure on one little leak. I think that would explode, wouldn't it? Because all the air in there. Can you even go down with air?
I don't know how that works. I'm not a submariner.
It's got to be like some heavy nitrogen air or something, or like air with more of a different chemical in it that makes it way more.
Or you just have ballast.
That's a lot of ballast, dude.
Yeah, I don't know how it works.
Anyway, if you do know, we can have a correction for the next episode when we talk about submarines again.
Yeah, and we were also talking about tsunamis.
Mm-hmm.
There was an island, the Jawa people, that survived the tsunamis based on myth and legend. It said if the ocean recedes, to run away from it as quickly as possible to high ground. And that was like...
That's a good rumor.
Hundreds of years old. Passed down through stories.
Shout out to Johanna. I had tried.
Yeah, Jarawa.
That's what I said. That is what I said.
Yeah. Rewind
the tape. That is what I said.
Mm-hmm. We hit a lot of water in this episode. The previous one had, I mentioned 33 feet of water. That's as far as you can get sucking water through a straw. So the suction that you can produce, the negative pressure, doesn't exist. It's actually zero pressure. Yeah.
These lips produce pressure.
The force that can push a column of water through a straw at that height is 33 feet. And also, if you tried to do that...
I'm a little confused. Hold on. If I tried to do it through a straw...
that was 34 feet long, you would not get water.
Interesting.
And it also doesn't work on the moon. You can't suck water through a straw on the moon.
Why not? It's less gravity.
Because there's no pressure on the water to force it in your mouth.
There's a way I would draw it. So you have a cup like this. And you have a thing inside the cup. And the pressure of the air is coming down here and pushing down on the water here.
Yeah, he's gonna do
and
that.
Your suction is going up the straw here.
Up the middle shaft.
Like push down. Yeah, up the middle shaft.
2 squeeze balls on the side. Keep it nice tight to the chin.
Right here.
And you got to purse your lips.
The pressure. And that's essentially what it looks like when you're drinking through a straw.
Yeah. So
that's how the Earth works. That's interesting. I forgot about air pressure. I did.
yeah, you did. Final facts of
So,
the corrections or clarifications from last time. The specific heat, I called it thermal momentum. It's actually
you made up a word.
Yeah, yep, that's made up. That's okay. We're allowed to do that here. It's infotainment purposes.
We don't pander to scientists,
Yeah.
Scientologists, or whatever they are.
But it is specific heat. That is the change of temperature in a liquid. And water was way up there.
Yeah, it's one of the highest. It's not the highest, but it's one of the highest regular everyday ones, right?
Ammonia is actually the highest. And ammonia they use on the space station to heat and cool. It's like their AC. Yep. And that's probably why, because it absorbs a lot of energy. Can you figure out
changing heat?
Yeah, can you figure out which one has the least I don't know if we want to delve into that, but which one has the least specific heat of a liquid?
Is it a common liquid?
It's pretty common if you think about a thermostat.
Mercury?
Yep.
That's weird. I almost said mercury before that. Why? It just changes temperature like crazy. Like it'll expand and
it's the most sensitive. That's why they use it.
I guess it'll expand at 1 degree. It'll get bigger. How sexy. Mercury is the sexiest liquid, I think. Sometimes I'll let my kid drink mercury. We have the old school thermometers back here, like a whole bunch. If he wants to, I'll let him. And cool, silvery, glowy stuff. He's crazy. My kid can float. I don't know how that's possible, but.
Gotta give him a Nuka-Cola.
Nuka-Cola, folks.
Okay. Let's jump into our job interview here. So Nick.
Our job interview here.
I'm living vicariously through Nick because he has a job interview coming up.
Did you see my shave job? Look at that. Has anyone ever actually seen this part of my neck on this podcast? Probably not.
You left a little bit there?
You know what? I said to my girl, I said, I'm leaving this, I think. How's it look? I'm like, whatever. I was like, it's me. If I took it away, I'd be like blank. And I look like a blankness.
You'd be generic. Isn't that what employers want? They want most generic worker that will do the job and not say anything.
They want a pretty generic person.
Okay.
I don't think they want 100% generic.
What kind of clothes are you going to wear?
Suit. I'm going to wear the whole tie and a suit coat.
You're going to have a suit coat in the summer?
Oh, hell yeah. I guess maybe I shouldn't. Is that too much?
Oh, I think it's too much in the summer.
Uh-oh. So I look like a try-hard?
Yeah. You don't want to be a brown noser.
So I should just wear the suit or the dress shirt with the nice tie and the pants, right?
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Can you button the sleeves? Unbutton them? I don't know.
See, I'm not a good reference for this because I've been told my entire life to do all of those proper things, and I don't do that at all at my job. I haven't done it for a year. I would just golf shirts and jeans. Take it easy. Make it fun.
You guys are living rebel here.
Yeah.
Do you ride a Harley Davidson into the office?
Yeah, I certainly do.
Stairs? Wow, this guy.
Some dude had a scooter today. He walked out of the building, like the doors just opened for him. He just whips it out like Hansel and just he starts pedaling away. Ching, ching.
That's awesome.
I was like, man, I was like, man, that's kind of dorky. You were
jealous.
Then he sped away, and I was like, damn it.
Damn, that's awesome.
What a jerk.
What a loser.
Damn, planned ahead.
Mm-hmm.
So, so why are you getting a new job?
Future stability. I think we've had at my current job, like, I want to say 10 customers, 10 walk-ins in the past 2 days. It's really bad. Usually it's just have 20 to 30 customers a day, plus 20 to 30 deliveries a day. We're down. We're I think I had 8 walk-ins. And then the best is when I had 3 people walk in. One asked for something we never had. Do you guys make keys? No, we do not. We never have. Thank you. All right, have a good day. Someone asked for plumbing parts. I get that a lot because there's another place in the area that does plumbing stuff.
You look like that guy from the plumbing store.
Yeah, you guys do the plumbing? No. Have a great day. And then
are you counting these walk-ins as walk-ins?
Yeah.
This is of your 8.
And it's 8. It might have been 10. I might be exaggerating, but it should be 20 to 30 at least. And I get it. It's summer. It's hot, and everybody's walking around. It's not the nicest neighborhood, but just walk-ins down, and then deliveries are down too. So usually, what is it? Was it Thursday? Yeah, it was Thursday. We have West Philly and North Philly and some Center City. usually make up like 15 stops. You try and wind them together so that you go all in a row and on the way back. We had like 6 today, maybe 7, but like 4 of them were one customer. I mean, he has different spots set up, but I sell like janitorial stuff. So he's a janitor, like all these big fancy places. So like he asks us to drop it off for him, and I'm like, cool, I'll do it.
So it's pretty much money and boredom and
longevity. Well, a little bit. I mean, think of this. It's not just boredom. Like, we don't get customers. We don't get money. We don't get, I mean, there won't be a business in 2, 3, 4 years.
Have you gotten a raise while you've been there?
Yeah.
You get, well, how do you broach that?
Well, I just, Father, may I speak to you about my allowance? What, son? I dare say, may I have a farthing more?
Nick works with his dad.
I work with my father. I do not recommend for everyone at home. Actually, when it's all said and done, and like he passes, and I'm an old man, I'll look back on it, and it'll be one of the happiest things I ever did.
Happiest things leaving, or having worked with him?
No, I haven't worked with him. I hate his guts. We argue all the time. We argue worse than a married couple. Most people come in, will ask a question, and my dad will say one thing. I'll say, look, and I'll say, no, it's something else. And then he'll say, no, it's something else. And we'll argue in front of the customers because we're both a very similar type of person, and he's old school and I'm not. And I think some people get a kick out of it, so they purposely set us up to argue. But then he'll be like, well, someone didn't get the C folds last week. And I'll be like, well, someone didn't order enough multi-folds last week. And then we go back and forth, and it becomes this big thing. And I'm like, yep, there were 4 back there, like I said. And then like he's like, well, if you got them in the first place. And then, it just goes like that. And it's just funny. And he'll say, good help is hard to find to the customer. And I'll say, everyone hates their boss to the customer. And the customer's like laughing because we know him. It's not like I say this in front of a stranger. It's usually like some 45-year-old guy who's from a VFW or a church or something.
Yeah, somebody who's actually personable.
Right. Oh, yeah, dude. Customers come in just to talk sometimes. I have customers come in and they just want to vent. They want to talk about religion or like the no-nos you're not supposed to talk about. Like they come in and talk politics. That's one of the favorites. Sports, they talk their wives or something. They talk stuff in the news. Young people today is a big one because most of mine are like 45-year-old African-American guys. Like, young people today don't know shit. And I'm like, you tell them. You looking for something?
Just making sure the one thing's off. It's okay.
Okay.
I'm good.
But anyway, like, it's in a way, it's the most fun. You sit there, you BS with guys, you learn some old school stuff, you argue. I don't always agree with most of my customers. Some of them are like Lakers fans.
Lakers?
I have Dallas Cowboys fans come in. Like Dallas Cleaning. Shout out Dallas Cleaning. He comes in, he busts my balls, I bust his balls. If I go outside and I'm unloading a truck, like it's so neighborhood that people just see me and they honk. Because they know it's me. And I don't even have to see the car. I just like raise my hand. I'm like, yeah, that's right, you son of a gun. So when it all comes said and done, and I move on, I do something else, I will miss it with my heart. Because there are no jobs like this anymore. There's no businesses like this.
That's true. Yeah, everything's kind of corporate or company, or you have to keep a tight lip and you can't say your mind. And you've been there for what, 10 years
I wear
now?
basketball. Yeah, I wear basketball shorts and a t-shirt to work.
Sounds good.
And I carpool with my father. And oftentimes we argue about something. We're listening to sports talk or we're on, the rock station or something we can all agree on.
One of the things that...
It's good.
One of the things that Austin asked, unless you got something.
Oh, boy. No, go ahead. That was it.
So one of the questions was, I think it was, what has this podcast taught you? And instead of what I thought was going to be a normal answer, you said it taught me that I need a new job. Is there a reason why? You trying to mess with him?
You guys were talking about no. You guys were talking about just you make this, and we don't have benefits at my company. We don't have we handwrite all our receipts. Our
don't
filing
have computers.
We have computers, but they're more for surfing the internet and playing music. Like when I look up a customer to see his pricing and all that, it's just on pieces of paper. We file away alphabetically.
You have to look up where a customer, like his address
Yeah.
is, and then how much he paid previously, all his bills.
Yeah.
How do you charge people? What if you have like delayed debts and stuff?
That happens a lot. Like it'll be like, because it takes them 60 days to pay, some people 30 days to pay. So like it'll get crossed in the system. I go back and grab his old slips because I figure price hasn't changed in like 6 months. And then like sometimes I'll look at my dad and be like, why'd you charge him $27.95? Now it's $31.50. And I'll be like, well, it wasn't filed. And he's like, well, you got to check the unpaids first. And I'm like, well, I didn't check the unpaids. It's been this for a year, 10 years. Some prices on some items have stayed the same for like 8-10 years.
Why don't you have just like a spreadsheet that does this?
Because it's different for every customer almost. Like churches are different, like, and who's inputting it? You know what I mean?
This
Because it's all handwritten.
But like, why wouldn't you take that and like print it and put it in like a database or something? Just like save it on as a file or scan it or anything.
You know,
anything.
Scan an item. And how often computers are wrong in this line of work. Like the only way it's efficient is if every item that comes in is barcoded.
It is barcoded.
No, they're not.
How are they not? That's baffling.
Everything comes. I have items that come in that have no markings on them at all. It's just like a brown box. It's like made in China. Some of the stuff. Some of them are paper towels that there's like
knockoff paper towels.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, dude, paper towels come. It's crazy. People think you just buy paper towels. No, there's like 350 foot. There's boxes that say 350 that aren't 350 foot. They're just called like a P350 to confuse you, to make you think it's a 350 foot. Oh no, that's our item number. It's really 275 feet. I'm like, well, why would you call it? Oh, you're lying without lying. Good call. A tricky business. Toilet paper, you have different plies. You got, each. This one it's a 500 sheet, 2-ply, whatever. Well, you're like, how big are the sheets? I don't know. It's like 3.5 inches by 2.8 inches. You're like, that's a cheater sheet, dude. And they're like, well, it's still 500 sheets. No one cares. And I'm like, yeah, but if it's half an inch longer and a quarter inch shorter for every sheet times 500, you're robbing people of paper. Like, and this is me saying this and realizing when we're buying it in bulk, the end user probably doesn't care. The end user's probably like, I just wanted to buy some toilet paper.
They don't break it down to like cost per pound.
No, of course no. Why would they? Do you when you buy toilet paper? Do you?
No. Okay. I'll be honest.
Anyway.
I probably will from now on though.
You will from now on. You will look into it. Anyway, so it's really crazy. Plus, we call some items things like I call a 98150. Jesus Christ, 98150 is a 1-ply dinner napkin that used to say 98150 on the box. Well, that company got bought out. I want to say 8 to 10 years ago, and then they have a new box, but it's still a 1-ply dinner napkin. Still costs the same. Still the same amount in the box. Well, we still call it a 98150. The box is like 4427 or something. And then like the new guy's like, what do you want? I'm like, get a 98150. And he's like, I don't know what that is. And I'm like, it's this box. It says 4427. Are you an idiot?
You're the crazy old guy that tells people the wrong thing, but it's right, even though it's not
it's
right.
It's right. Well, it's been that way for 10, 20 years. And you know what I mean? And the minute I start calling it a 4427, they're going to just change it again.
So Nick, would you say this is an inability to change?
Yes, 100%.
Negative marks. You are not getting this job.
This job. Business hasn't changed. I can change.
You haven't proven that through demonstration yet. So does your job give you like flex? Does it give you time off? What do they dock your pay? Do you build up vacation time and hours?
It's supposed to be you get 2 weeks PTO.
Did you file that away in a paper cabinet somewhere?
Yeah, we have a book. It's a vacation book. You write down anytime you're late a couple hours. Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's official. You got to get in the book.
So this new job, what's it going to do? It's going to give you health benefits. It's going to be probably more work.
I would hope.
Maybe more stress. Definitely more stress.
More stress. Actually, maybe less work. I don't have to lug boxes all day and whatever. Debatable though. It's a different kind of work.
So maybe some perks and a little less flex time.
Probably, yeah. To begin with, I can't imagine they're like, you get more flex time. Hey, you can do whatever you want. You're a new guy, right?
And it's gonna be what, farther away, closer?
The traffic will make it farther away on bad traffic days.
And then the money would be better. That's the main motivator.
I would imagine. Right. A little better, I think, to start, but eventually much better.
Okay.
And future-proof.
So,
and I get to put something on a resume that doesn't say handwrite receipts. 98150. Just something to beef up the old resume.
how did you find this job, and how come you're not applying your degree? Where could you apply your degree, which no one knows?
Any newspaper in America, English. I've let everyone know I'm a newspaper writer. I'm a newspaperman.
You're a journo.
I'm a journo. I get the hard facts. I could apply to any newspaper, any magazine, any publication I want, except that
all of those are going downhill.
They are and they aren't. I mean, I think they're old. Here's something interesting. I didn't want to go down this rabbit hole, but I realized it yesterday. The reason the world sucks today is because English majors are getting replaced. 100%.
Oh yeah, is this anecdotal?
No, this is real. So I was thinking the other day, my dad read something on Facebook that was like, this Marine tried to sing the Pledge of Allegiance in a school, and the school banned him and said, "We sing the we pray to Allah" or something. No, it was a Facebook thing.
Yeah.
My dad was reading it. He read it. He said,
Incredibly
"Who
biased.
believes that?" It was like this Marine tried to sing the Star Spangled, whatever he tried to sing, the American anthem, and that the school told him to stop. It's offensive. And right now we're doing pray to Allah time, and they told him he couldn't. And it was like, forward this to your best friends on Facebook to show that you're proud of America and our Marines. And it got like all these likes. And my dad was like, "Who believes this?" And I was like, "Dad, there aren't writers anymore. This guy's a writer. This guy's a writer. This guy's a journo. This guy's an English major. This guy writes stories. This guy writes memes. This guy writes pieces. This guy writes a new news story that you've never heard his name before, but the news story is interesting. I'll click it. This guy does clickbait. This newspaper sells clickbait. Everyone sells clickbait. Everyone sells news stories. Everyone's a blogger. Everyone's a vlogger.
Everyone's a podcaster.
Everyone is. And think of this. How much education, integrity, and working through the system did any of these people have to do? How much education do you think the average Facebook memer goes through? How much accountability do they have?
Zero.
So everything you read is true. Everything you read is fake. It's all bullshit. And that's a little bit what's wrong with our world. And it's all because there used to be a profession where you would go, learn how to write, be accountable for writing. You have to claim your sources. You can be fired for not writing well. Writing is a real job. Like, think of this. Oh my God. That's crazy, right? And now we don't have that at all. There's no accountability. You can write whatever the flying hell you want.
What about like Don
and you
Draper?
Have a platform to do it.
Like a copywriter?
They actually pay
marketing
pretty well. So do copy editors. What's the other one? Technical writing. It's so boring.
Creative.
There's not a lot of creative writing that pays unless you hit it.
What about like
you have to
creative department, like a marketing creative department?
That would be cool, but I guess most people majored in marketing, so they already have an in. I would have to. The other thing is, if I did one of these jobs, I have to start at the bottom rung and make less than I make now.
Yep.
I have a kid. I have car payments.
Yep. Midlife.
I have a lifestyle. What am I going to do? I'm 33. I'd like to apply for your internship so I can work for free for a year.
Not going to happen.
And eventually, maybe. Yeah, I ain't doing that. That's bullshit.
The one thing I did notice after we have the Twitter thing going, we gained probably 50 people in a few days, actually.
Sign up.
Yeah.
Twitter is popping off. It's called @unpanders. Or is it?
It's also @unpanderdan or unpanderdan. Huh? We have 3. And I don't know if it's allowed. Yeah, they're all the same. And
okay.
One thing I noticed is the people that actually join are mostly trying to sell you something, have a service, or they're writing a book, they've written a book, or they're a podcaster, or something else in the same vein. It's kind of surprising that how many of them there are and how many different flavors there are and how poorly all of it is written. So I will semi-agree with you that even the writers probably need to learn how to write.
Right, I wouldn't disagree.
And I don't think you can sell a book nowadays. I really don't think you could sell media.
You can, but you know what's funny? It's not good writing or anything. It's celebrity writing or celebrity books that sell.
it's been like licensed and then packaged with a celebrity on the face. Even my coworker had Eat, Pray, Love, which I don't believe had Julia Roberts in the original book, but she was on the cover. They put her face right on the cover.
She was, dude. Why not, man? The book based on the movie, based on a book.
The best part is I told her about page 69 podcast. And
sounds like a good podcast. We should check it out next episode.
Yeah, we should check it out. That actual page had half the page was in Italian, and it was like raunchy Italian. And then they translated it, and it was all about her making love and getting pounded. Just wow.
Italian Pound Town, huh?
Yeah, Italian Pound Town.
God bless. If anyone wants to go to Italian Pound Town, I'm going to leave my social in the back.
Hashtag town.
Hashtag town.
Pound Town.
Pound Town. So that's what's wrong with America. English majors.
Yeah.
There aren't enough of them.
I think we covered the reasoning for why you're looking for a new job and the advantages and disadvantages of your current job, unless you want to add anything to that.
No, that sounds about right. I'm going to miss everybody. Oh, wait, I didn't get a job.
You didn't get it yet.
They're going to be like, no, you don't do anything at your current job. I'll be like, no, I do everything, sort of.
That's the way I feel.
That's weird.
Even I'll talk about... So the jobs I apply to now, they're either...
You're actively applying still?
I do it all the time. There's an app called ZipRecruiter. I'm not plugging it. I don't...
Yeah, I know what it is.
And so I apply to ones that are either remote or they have a big price tag to them. Like they actually tell you what the salary is going to be. And if it's like a range of like 70 to 140, you're not going to get 140. All that is bullshit. They're going to give you 70. Even if they ask you what what salary would you like? Don't give them a number because they're going to just lowball it and be like, you asked for 65, we're going to get 60. Is that close enough? And you're like, no, maybe, no, I don't.
I don't know. Is this a trick?
Yeah.
Is that a common trick?
Definitely. I've had interviews where I've been there for the whole day. They like you. They really like you. You're perfect fit.
Then they give you a really low number.
Yeah. Or they ask you. And like, for me now, I'm in a comfortable job that I'm respected and I make a decent amount of money and it's in a field that I actually studied for. So
respect.
I mean, it's hitting my marks. So when I say
you can't put a price on you can put a price on some of those X factors.
Definitely. I like the people I work with. And like a lot of that is like really hard to find. All of those pieces, difficult to find. So when I come at a company that's trying to hire me, I always
poach.
Yeah, I throw at like 20% more, 30% more than I make now. And the people for working in Houston, they don't really believe that I make that much money. Because Houston's like a super cheap place to live. So like equating to, I had an interview in Denver. Like Denver's price is like the cost of living plus the 20 or 30% that I'm saying I need as a raise. And like when they look at it, they're like, are you sure? And it's like, yeah, I'm freaking sure.
Yeah, buddy. I'm not doing this for fun. Jackweed.
So that's where I'm at. I applied to a whole bunch of different jobs. I've had a whole bunch of different interviews, and it's like the different types of interviews, they can grade against me or not. And we can cover like, did you have like a phone interview with this guy before you set up like a real one?
No, not yet. Tomorrow's a real one in person, and it could be up to 5 people. It's either 4 or 5. Or
do you get round robin or you get like a panel?
I think it's a round robin. I don't know. The one guy, he's a VP of a new department. He's my friend. I keep trying to pump him for a little information, but not bother him. I'm like, haha, what shouldn't I do? Wear a brown tie? Is that like the bad thing? LOL, JK, LOL. And then he's like, nah, you're good.
Question mark.
Brown tie? Send him the picture of the tie. Anyway, he keeps writing back in like a real carefree way, and I don't know if it's good or bad. He's like, just don't worry, just show up. Like, just come, just show up. You'll be all right.
It'll be good.
And I'm like, okay.
Sometimes you think like, am I already hired? Do I need to care?
Yeah,
and then it's like,
right. And now I'm like,
maybe he's not.
Or does he really like think I have no chance? And he's kind of just throwing me a bone. And I'm like, it could go either way.
Yeah. And all of the interviewers I've ever talked to, they're never negative. And I'm like, that wasn't really that great. I'm sorry. Can you please
Yeah, the
leave?
only scene, right. Yeah, can you imagine? They're like,
Yeah.
can you imagine if they farted during your interview, like the Step Brothers? And the interviewer was like, "I'm sorry, that was me. This just isn't working.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to leave. I'm gonna have to leave before the smell hits you. I don't think the smell's gonna hit me, sir." And then your eyes are watering, and you're like,
Can I borrow your water? I need to flush out my eyes. This is singeing my eyes. No offense to you, but your farts, they burn.
"It was a good fart."
Yeah.
No, I'm just really teared up. It has nothing to do with the fart.
Some good heat to it.
Oh, the end of a sad movie.
So I don't know if you've had like day-long interviews.
Nah, usually they're like 45 minutes to an hour. Like you tour the facility and all that.
Yeah, there was one place.
I did tour the facility.
Let's hear it.
Yeah.
Was there anything special about
the
it?
Water department. No, I thought it was really cool. And then like it was a water department, and they like showed me all their cool vehicles, and we call this the shitter room or whatever. And I was like, this is cool. Like these guys.
Was this an interview?
Yeah, it was right after the interview. I interviewed for like 45 minutes. And they're like, let me give you a tour. And the guys, I mean, it's a water department. They were like guys. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
And you didn't get that job?
No, I lost to a mechanic, I heard. So get this, because their mechanic was like 80 and ready to retire. So I think like they kind of wanted me, but then this guy, when they were like, well, he's a mechanic and he's good, we're going to hire him. And I lost out to him, and I probably could have applied again, but like I felt like so ashamed. I was like, I lost.
Yeah.
Like, it's a weird feeling.
It's like a breakup. And like you can't go back to that relationship thinking you'll do it better.
You know what's funny? They didn't tell me I didn't get the job. I called and left the message twice, and I was like, "Hey, it's been 5 days. You know, never heard back."
I was just calling you back.
Right. So then I told my buddy who worked there, and he's like, "They didn't tell you? I think they're hiring the other guy." He's like, "That's messed up. They should tell you." And I was like, "Well, it's okay." I was like kicking a rock at the time. I was like, "No big deal. They can hire whoever." And then he's like, "But they should tell you." He's like, "Just call them again in like 3 more days. Like give it a full week." You know what I mean? I was like, "All right." I call back. I was like, "Hey, I don't know if you lost my number." And it was like a voicemail, of course. "It's me. I applied. I just wondered if anything came up or if it's going to work out or anything. Thanks, let me know." And he never called back. I talked to him again, and he was like, "Yeah, they gave the job to the other guy." And then he overheard an argument that they never called me back or whatever, but they never did. So actually, I still could get the job.
How long ago was this?
I didn't. This is about a year ago.
They put a reminder for the wrong year. That's all.
You're good. I'm going to get the email any second now.
2027. Hey, Nick, we just, you're right here.
You're good?
You're supposed to start on Monday.
Yeah. Are you going to show up, or are we going to put a check mark next to your name? 3 check marks, you get written up.
That is a weird thing that every company does it differently. Like I've had them call me the same day, say like, "You're a good candidate, but we found somebody better." And it's like they already had somebody in mind, or it's been like a week and they thought you were the guy, and then they don't care about you anymore. It's like they found a new guy. It's like,
so you know what's really weird? As we started this podcast, I got an email from Merck.
Oh.
I applied to a job that I'm not qualified for.
I do that all the time.
Wait, and right. I was like, who cares? I got an email right before this podcast started. I didn't realize it. It was like, "Thank you for applying, but we noticed none of your qualifications meet ours. So we're going to move in a different direction." I was like, I applied to that like a month ago. Yeah. Literally, it was like 5 weeks ago. And I was like, holy crap, I forgot I applied.
That's another thing, is that a company needs you now, or they don't need you until 3 months from now.
Right.
That's another weird feeling.
Or something.
Yeah.
Like,
so the company has all the power too. So you're trying to figure out like where you can be flexible, and the company is just like, it's this, and there's no back and forth. You try to play the person, especially for like salary negotiation.
So here's an interesting thing. So when it works the other way, how does it work? Like,
where you have all the power.
Well, once you're hired, isn't it hard to fire someone in a big corporation?
It depends.
Like in a small business, you can kind of like just like kick someone out. Like you're like, "I hate you. I hate you. You're fired."
Yeah. If it's a privately owned business,
they don't do that.
Privately owned businesses, they can pretty much kick out anybody they want. Especially in Texas, it's a right to work state, which means they could fire you for no reason.
Oh, I didn't. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if Pennsylvania is the same way.
I'm not sure. I haven't heard of that. So it strikes me as no, but strikes me as maybe, and maybe no.
Mhm.
Anyway, like I feel like oftentimes there are people who like I just heard a crazy story that someone had a job in a government position
Government positions are pretty stable. You're probably not going to get fired.
where he would drive to work, clock in, leave, and then come back at like 4 or 5, clock out and leave.
You never
He
get
did
fired.
this for 5 years.
Huh.
How do you do that for 5 years?
What do you do for 5 years? Do you do a second job? I'd be compelled to do another government job at that point. Check in, go to the next government check in.
But just in general, I feel like it's hard to fire people because when you work in these big companies, you see all these people who are incompetent, terrible at their job, don't do anything, and don't get fired.
Ooh.
And you're like,
you're touching on one of my gripes. So there's probably 300 people at my company, and I'm saying it's specific to my company. Sure. This is in general. Sure. Wink, wink. It's general. So they're like the average level of work you get out of like the average worker is extremely low. Like I don't feel like I push myself very hard, but it's still like multitudes more than what the average person does. And then not only that, but like all the crap that the average person doesn't want to do, somehow it gets kicked towards me and I have to kick it back. I just like, get the hell out of here. So you have to deal with that crap all the time. So when you're starting a new job, if you do get the job, I feel like all the shit's going to roll down to you, and they're going to test you out. Mm-hmm. So you got to figure out.
Do you want to test it back? Like, what do you kick back versus?
You can't when you're new. You have to prove yourself, and if it's the first shittiest thing that you get is the worst, you have to eat it. Eat that piece of shit.
Eat that shit, dude. Yeah. Eat that. Eat the poop. Eat the poop. No, I won't do it. I don't know. Right.
I think of like all the previous interviews I've had. Like the ones in high school weren't really, they're like, can you do this job? Can you work a cash register? Can you be on time? Like, I'm punctual and I can do math. And they're like, oh, great. Oh, fantastic. You could speak English.
The funny thing that happens on Twitter now is people fresh out of college are applying for jobs and all that. And they have no shame. So they screenshot everything that they're doing.
Screenshot for what?
Hold on. So they're applying for something, and they were like, some company, like a pharmacy or a big company. The company has more than 300 employees, right? And they're applying. And then they say, I have my bachelor's and something. And they said, we're looking for someone who has either the beginnings of a doctorate or something higher. What's in between a doctorate and a bachelor? Like not an associate's degree.
Associate's, bachelor, master's degree?
Master's. Okay. They're looking for a master's in field X. They're not sure if this person applies. And then at the bottom of the page it says starting salary is $15 an hour.
I've seen that bullshit.
And they screenshot that crap and they're like, this is the biggest load of horse shit ever. But it's real. That's a job.
Like, they try to lowball you.
That's insane though. You have like how could you pay? You have bills that are more than $15 an hour for that doctorate.
So the jobs I had in high school, I made like $6 an hour. And then when I was doing a co-op or internship, it was paid, and I was making something like $14 an hour until I got hired. My first job out of college was $58,000 a year. I remember that, which is pretty good.
Difference from it's a big difference from whatever. I don't even make 58. So you sock your money away, dude. Do whatever you want with it. I'm going to get your money. Government.
Wait till I die and then somehow wrangle it away.
No, I'm going to, at this new company, I'm going to say, I'm going to sell something to a guy in Texas. I can't say what the item is, but it rhymes with garble. And it looks nice for a countertop.
Are you allowed to cross state lines and install it?
Yeah, they're one of the biggest ones in the tri-state area, so that's cool.
I already have granite, so I'm good.
Granite costs less than marble. That's pretty embarrassing.
I should feel shame.
Anyway, so what is one to do? I guess, should you always just pursue your... Like here, I'll put this. If you're younger than 21 and you're watching this, and with a parent's permission or whatever the flying balls you need. Would you suggest to someone to go to school for a thing, try and get someone to pay for that school, and then afterwards go right into it and try and milk money from it somehow? Like, what's the idea? What's the idea behind life? Is that it?
So I guess the friends that I have are super successful. They did a whole lot of work in college, and they gamed the system a little bit. They knew what they were doing beforehand. So one of my friends got a bachelor's and a master's at the same time, which I was like, I didn't know you could do that. And he graduated, and he started making a whole lot of money, like right off the bat. Because he, not only did he have a bachelor's and a master's immediately after 5 years, he shopped around and then found the company where he wanted to work and the location he wanted to work for the most money.
Oh, okay.
But
that's crazy gaming too.
Yeah, the paying for schooling part is difficult because a lot of places will pay a certain amount, so you can only take like 2 or 3 classes. But then they have you on the hook. They say you
have to stay for X many years after they do.
It's usually like 2 to 3 years you have to stay. So you end up,
that sucks. That would be funny to screw them.
Yeah, if I were to take a master's with the terms, my company doesn't do that. I mean, they give you like almost nothing, but like certain other companies will pay enough for 2 or 3 classes. It would probably take like 10 classes, maybe 12 classes. So that's
probably
a year and a half, maybe. So that would be committing 3 to 4 years of my life to a certain company,
at least,
which is worth it if you're young.
True.
And you're willing to stay put.
Right.
But you could probably make as much money jumping around and being smart about where you work if you can sell yourself.
Right. That makes sense. Did we have a secondary topic also? I'm not leaving this topic. There was somewhere we wanted to move to, or an email or something.
Oh, no, wait. No, I'm going to bring that up at the end.
Okay. That's fair.
I was just talking about the different types of interviews. So you're going to have
here's a tricky interview.
Yeah.
If the guy ever smirked at you and you were one-on-one with him, this is a guy-to-guy thing, and he showed you a picture of his wife.
What do you think?
And said, would you hit that? What do you say? Hell yeah, with barbecue sauce, sir. That's what you have to say. I think that's because then he laughs, knowing it's a joke, but also maybe.
Are you calling his wife a porker? Spit,
maybe.
Put it on a spit.
Maybe that's part of the joke. Oh, no, you don't say that. You don't say it. You say me.
I take a bite out of that.
Oh, you can't say that either.
Yeah, you can't.
And then he spits and screams, "That's my daughter!" It's a trick. Well, then I'll just take this one by myself, sir. No spit. Have you ever had any weird questions like that kind of?
I feel like some people. The one thing I remember from like right after college, sometimes they get like really friendly and nice. And like they like start to be your buddy. Somebody asked about video games.
Real quick. Oh,
I got this job, but not with the group that he was interviewing me for. So we started talking about Call of Duty because he was super into it, and like we were like vibing off each other. We were talking about like the guns you could use, like blah blah.
That's never fake, right?
I don't think
do that to mess with you. Okay, I was just curious.
I don't know because I didn't get a job in his department. It's the strange part.
Can you imagine if they're like, anyway, I saw this meme. It had Hitler in it. And you're like, I saw that meme. That was great. And they're like, the KKK is kind of cool. And you're like, yeah, I guess so. And you're like, did you get the collector hood? And you're like, yeah. And then they go, boom. You're arrested. And this is a trick. And you're like,
we're the FBI.
I was just going along with it because I wanted the job.
But that's the feel I got from the guy.
Oh my God, what if they were?
He was talking up Call of Duty, and I was totally into it. And towards the end, he was just kind of like nodding and being quiet. And then it just kind of ended awkwardly. And I was just like, that was weird. He
picked you already.
Yeah. Maybe he knew about the game enough to like disdain it, and he just wanted to like mess with me. Like, I bet he's going to talk about how he uses like triple grenades and then like martyrdom. This kid's a jerk.
You don't know if it was a trick or not?
What's your handle? I was like, I tell him what he's like, you killed me 30 times last night.
You. Yeah. Use a signifier in front of your name. Knife. He gets real quiet. Excuse me. Did you say KNYF? the Y being the funny squiggle with the 2 lines over it. Should have been like, never heard of that. That's so weird because you described You said you could cook a grenade so well that you could throw it and it wouldn't even hit the ground and it would explode. You know the greatest? Who? All right. This is a real question.
We have to say why we're so good at this game.
Okay, when we played Call of Duty 4, we used to play just grenades and knives.
Mm-hmm.
Like we wouldn't use the guns.
No bullets.
We just wouldn't use them. No bullets. That was our rule. And we were pretty bad at it for like a few weeks, but then like somehow we gained the
There's some magic to it.
It's about how you move and bob and weave, and you learned the distance for your stab, which is a one-hit kill, and you learned how to time the grenades in your bones.
Yeah.
Like I could time a grenade today and throw it, cook it in my hand just long enough and throw it, and it would probably right before it landed on the ground, it would explode at like chest height perfectly wherever I was.
Or you're throwing multiple ones to force them into a corner, and then they only have one way to go, and you're already there with a knife. Got them.
Yeah, there used to be. I could duck around any building, any corner, any obstacle while people are shooting at you, and then you do that stutter step move or whatever, and you're getting closer to them, and then they have to reload, and you just lunge. Anyway, here's a real question for you: the best feeling in the world, going like 17-5 in a game with just knives, winning the match. Here's a real question for you. Who do you think was better at that game, me or you? Job interview.
I'm going to say me, because I'm cocky.
I was going to say me too. That's so weird.
That's strange.
Who was better at cooking grenades?
It's math. It's all about math.
I'm going to say it's me. You know why? I got so good that to a point, I could throw one straight in the air and it would explode on the way down at the second floor where people were shooting at me.
We should do a test. We should play this game and then see who can make a grenade land right as it touches the ground. It explodes. That's perfection right there.
Like a pink? Okay.
Like no pink. It's just it just.
Well, okay, before it hits the ground.
Before it hits the ground.
Or as it hits the ground. There's a difference.
If you could make it explode as it hits the ground, that's a winner. There's no better.
Would you hear a sound?
Like if a tree falls in the forest, in the woods.
We should look into this. I don't know if the servers are still up. All right, fine. That was it.
That's all you got? Okay, that's fine.
That was my questionnaire.
So yeah, I've had a bunch of weird questions when I'm going on interviews, and I don't know, like people try to throw out those weird questions to like confuse you. Like
see what you do or whatever. Or
what's your biggest weakness? Like what do you answer?
I already figured it out. I'm going to say, sometimes I think I try too hard and I overextend myself. And I end up trying to do so many things at once when really I should delineate my responsibilities to my team.
Delineate? Delegate?
You can delineate.
I guess you can.
I guess delegate's more of a corporate word, though. I'll try delegate tomorrow. How's that?
Okay.
That's my weakness, guys. My weakness? I get drunk and show up to work late every day.
Sometimes I drool, and then people see it, and then I have to pretend like I didn't drool, and I can't accept that I drooled.
You said that?
I'm still drooling, aren't I? And then
Could you even be hired? That would be a challenge.
They'd be like, we have an opening for you. We've been waiting for a guy like you. Fit in with the average worker. We need to balance this place out.
You're a real go-getter, sir.
The other thing is, like, when you show up and they ask you, like, what do you think you'll be doing here? It's like, that's your job to tell me?
I thought you guys would know better than I would.
Well, they'll be like, do you know what J2EE is? And I'm like, why don't you just...
right now.
No. That could mean a lot of things. I could make up acronyms all day. Apparently, that's your job.
Jerk to every
individual? That's not how you spell it.
Yeah,
why would you spell it wrong? And then he's like, gets offended.
A lot of things to think of by tomorrow.
What if they got like really existential on you?
I could go existential back, I think.
Yeah, but wouldn't it would go to like that weird place? They'd be like, well, who are you? And he'd be like,
I guess I'm my decisions, my thoughts, and my impulses, which are shaped by other people. I guess I'm other people.
Whoa. But why are we?
When? You answer that with a question, I think.
How?
How?
And then the trick questions? I guess the engineering trick questions are kind of infamous. Like, what other shapes could you use for a manhole cover? Because circular manhole covers won't fall into the sewer.
I don't know.
I think it's a
Row shapes
triangle.
could use. Really? A triangle wouldn't fall?
I don't think a triangle would fall.
I think if you really set it up properly, it wouldn't fall anyway. Because would a square? I mean, if it really, even if you set it up properly,
the square can
why would a
fall
square
because the
fall?
diagonal is longer than the side. So if you held it upright and dropped it straight down diagonal,
Okay. Oh, okay.
they wouldn't be able to get it out of the sewer because it'd be a pain in the ass.
But wouldn't, I guess a triangle wouldn't, it would be just equal if you did an equilateral one.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be an equilateral. Interesting.
So stupid question. They judge you on that sort of stuff. So I've had interviews where people are trying these questions on me, and I just get frustrated. I'm just like, why are you wasting your time? Like, this job is. I start to think like this company is stupid if they allow these questions. And I even had like people like, for a lot of the programming ones, they're like, or even the circuitry ones, some of the electrical stuff. It's like, draw this on a whiteboard, and it's like, there's no way that, I mean, I could do it. It's stupid because really we're going to rely on a simulation to do it anyway, or you're going to run code and you're going to change it on the fly because it doesn't fit.
You're not doing anything by a whiteboard.
Yeah, exactly. It's not the way you would code. You would never draw or draw a circuit on a whiteboard and be like,
it'll work.
Yeah, I think this.
Yeah, should we run any more tests?
No,
we've got
perfect. It's perfect.
This is it, folks.
So most of the time, it's those people that are they're like the guru. They think they're the man. Like I've had jobs hire me to replace the guy who was interviewing me, and he's so cocky about his job that he does not appreciate anybody. He will never a fair interview. They're like, do you know how to do this from 10 years ago, which I changed and made it my own? And it's like, really? Yeah. Why would I care to do that? I'm just going to change everything you just did because it's old, deprecated, and we no longer need it. And he'd be like, can't replace me. That's impossible. What would you do if they ask you for like, can you get me a cup of coffee? You're like, sure.
I'll be like, sure. Do you guys like dick flavor? No, we want coffee. And I'll be like, gotcha.
How about black?
But they wouldn't trust you to get your coffee anymore, would they?
Yeah, no, they wouldn't. But you wouldn't have to do the bitch job.
Yeah, right. That's what I mean. The win-win / you aren't getting hired, but that's fair.
What if they're like, are you a racist?
Yes.
What if they found your profile and it had like a whole bunch of like raunchy shit in it? Would you have to admit that was you, or would you say no?
I'm trying to think. My profile has some funny things or something, or like satire and irony. So like sometimes I'll write like today I may have made a joke from a locked account that members of ICE are actually just regular working Joes, and they're just trying to do the 9 to 5, and that they're not actually bad people. The bad people are the children in the cages, and someone should just kill all the children. but it was a joke. Yeah. I know, but it was a joke about how bad ICE is. I don't know if it comes, but it might come across.
People don't get it because they don't think it's sarcasm.
People would think, they'd be like, you want to kill the children in the cage? If they saw that, which is a locked account and whatever, I'd be like, that's doozy.
You'd be
say
stuck.
That was me? I've never heard that line. Can you repeat it? Yeah, doesn't sound like anyone I've ever known.
No.
That's not my voice. Sorry, you recorded an audio version? That's your voice. Yeah, that could be. I think I forgot that.
What if it was like a panel interview and like the main guy was definitely in control of it, and then he's like, what about Jane? Is Jane attractive? Like, what if he asked you like really weird personal questions?
And a thing came up, and one of the other panelists was wearing a dress, and I had to judge her physically.
Like she's sitting there next to, let's call him Bob. Bob's like, what about Jane? Would you do her? And you're like,
yes. No. It depends.
I'm married to Jane.
Would it help you get the job? Yes. Or no. Or whatever help me get the job.
Roll around in barbecue sauce and have a bite.
Little sweet baby Ray's.
I think that's all I got here. Ooh. I don't know. I'm curious if you get the job, and then if
As long as they don't see this episode, we should be good.
Are you going to negotiate how much they offer you?
I don't know. Do you do it right there? Do you say, "Can I sit on it?"
Oh, well,
and then take the paper and sit on it and say double.
So I've had interviewers as like they take my verbal, like they call me up, they say what the price will be, and they say, "Do you think you'll take the job? You think you're going to take it?" And I say, "Oh, I have to think about it." And then somehow they think, yeah, he's taking the job. So like a weird thing happened in college when I took a different job for like $1 more at a company I liked more, and the person who I declined, who I said I'd think about it,
said you broke contract.
Yeah, broke verbal contract. And they called the college. They tried to make me work there anyway. It's like, well, what do you think I'm going to do? Am I going to work for you after you do that? You're just going to try to pin something on me and make it my fault.
So here's a weird question. Like, this happens in big companies, again, not small companies.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you disagree with your boss or they want to fire you, but they can't because they don't have grounds to.
They nitpick until you get...
What is working there like? Like, yeah, like, do they just nitpick, but then don't you care less and do worse at your job? It's almost like you're both doing worse to each other.
You're destroying the company as you do that because you're bickering. That happened to my wife. My wife had... so let me see. I'm trying to sum it up as quickly as possible and concisely as possible. So she had a manager who is brand new, and she wanted to monitor all of her voicemails, and she also wanted to monitor all of her time. And then, like, whenever she left for a meeting, she wanted to know exactly when she left and when she came back. And then, even though the manager wasn't there for like half an afternoon, almost every afternoon, she was like going to other coworkers to find out when Katie left, when my wife left. So like she was like tabulating everything, and for some reason she just did not like my wife. Right,
and she was trying to find reason to take her as
those are the worst.
Like, something. Yeah, I can't imagine that. Like, I hate my coworkers, but in like a fun, lovey way.
Yeah,
I don't actually hate them. Like, I love them. I have to legally.
There's a weird pretense where people like want to see you work exactly 8 hours or exactly 9 hours or however long you're supposed to work. And that's not how work happens. There's people that show up to work.
I used to work at the liquor store, and it's a state job, like in Pennsylvania. So like it's a state. Your government, technically.
Your government, really?
Yeah, your government.
That's weird.
Yeah, state government. You get like, they try and make everyone part time because if you're full time, you get lots of benefits.
Yeah, you do.
Goodies. So what's crazy is one manager, he was real nerdy. I actually forget his name. I would drop him at call him a douche. He would like belittle everyone. He thought he was smarter than everyone. He was heavy set. Did he have glasses, or am I making that up? He used to play computer games, and like he just had this air about him where he was better than everyone. He was just a jackass. But we had an African American worker who was like cool, and like every girl loved him. He was like skinny and everything.
He was like a manager or just coworker?
He was just a worker. And I think he used to give him all the crappy jobs because he was, athletic. Girls loved him, like whatever. He was like cool versus the opposite of what the manager was.
Personality
clash. They got into a big fight, and I think he called him like something like racially whatever. Like it wasn't like, he didn't say a racial word, but it was like something like that. I don't know what word it was. It was
something else.
Some kind of animal or something. Right. But he sued and he won, I think. So he got money from whoever, but they both still worked in the exact same
that's
store.
Weird.
6 employees. Like, how do you...
You can't work around that.
Right. So then anytime he's still the boss, like, does he say, go stock shelf 5 or whatever? And does he say, okay, cool. Like, sometimes it would just be a weird air about them. And I was like, why do they... Like, if you sue your company, you shouldn't... I want to say you shouldn't be able to work there anymore because... But there are lots of employers who sue their employees and sue their employer and end up staying there. And I'm like, how do you do that? You're getting money from them every month for a wrongdoing, but you still work there. But I guess they can't take away your job. It's a weird dynamic, and I never got into it. And I don't know if you came across anything like that.
No, that's exactly what Katie had to deal with. Because after she
stayed
left,
there working?
she was she didn't win any lawsuits or anything. She was forced out, and then she got workers' comp, and then they take workers' comp away because it's in contention, and then you have to sit in front of your boss, who happened to be a previous lawyer and another lawyer, and then they pick apart what you said. So they record everything you say so they can use it against you. So don't talk to HR. Right. Human resources is not your friend. They are just working for the company to save them in a workers' comp lawsuit. Confers work.
Interesting. So HR is bad.
Yeah, so don't trust
Toby from The Office.
That's why everyone hated him. Guy. Yeah, he really was.
I always thought he was just misunderstood. Now I realize he was the real bad guy.
He is the bad guy. Don't trust anybody in company or corporate work. So you can open up your email now. You can open up one of those. So in a future episode, we're going to go over page 57 for episode 57 coming up next.
Oh, that sounds exciting. I can't wait to watch that.
And I'm going to test your verbal skills. So you can read a page from one of the 3 top works of literature ever. I think we have Don Quixote.
Yeah, I see. Don Quixote, Ulysses, and Proust, In Search of Lost Time.
Search of Lost Time. I think number 1 was In Search of Lost Time. Have you read any of those before?
No, I haven't actually. Actually, that's really weird. English major.
Aren't you an English major?
I'm supposed to read Ulysses. I just did the Cliff Notes. You can do that. I did that for an entire Shakespeare class.
It's a rather stingy or meager of you.
Thank you. So
what am I looking for? You can pick one of those 3 and then read page 57, and we'll test how your reading skills are.
Yours are going to be better. I think we're going to have you do it.
You want me to pull it up? Can you read it here?
I'm just saying. Hold on. I can do a test here. 57. By the way, said Swan to my grandfather, what I was going to tell you has more to do than you might think with what you were asking me just now. For in some respects, there has been very little change. I came across a passage in Saint Simon this morning, which would have amused you. It is in the volume which covers his mission to Spain. Not one of the best, little more in fact than a journal, but at least a wonderfully well-written journal, which fairly distinguishes it from tedious journals we feel bound to read morning and evening. I don't agree with you. There are some days when I find reading the papers very pleasant indeed. My Aunt Flora broke in to show Swan that she had read the note about his Corot in the Figaro. Thanks. Yes, Aunt Celine went one better when they write about things or people in whom we are interested. I don't deny it, answered Swan in some bewilderment. The fault I find with our journalism is that it forces us to take an interest in some fresh triviality of every other day, whereas only 3 or 4 books in a lifetime give us anything that is of real importance. Suppose that every morning when we tore the wrapper off our paper with fevered hands, a transmutation were to take place, and we were to find inside it, I don't know, shall we say Pascal's A Pensées? He articulated the title with an ironic emphasis so as not to appear pedantic. And then, in the gilt and tooled volumes which we open...
And that's page 57?
Yeah, but what's really crazy is he was just saying, did you catch that?
No, I didn't.
It's literally what we were talking about in today's episode.
The top 3 works?
No, she was saying, like, I love reading the news. It's not that boring as you might make it out to be. It's interesting, but it's not too interesting, because if it were too interesting, that's too much information for us almost.
We're not used to gauging all that, bringing it all in.
A little bit, but she said you can get a lifetime's worth of information and thought-provoking fodder in 4 books, the great works. It was almost like, can you imagine if you wrapped open the paper every day and you read something as thick and wonderful as Renee's whatever it was, which is funny because that's what's happening today, right?
That people are filling their brains with
new
random
Trump
news.
Story that's huge, and it's every day, right?
That's the worst. It's drowning out all the other media. It's like 50%, 60% of everything that's immediately posted. It's all Trump.
It's wild, and it's news every day, right? But that's really crazy that page 57 actually...
Which book was that? That was the Time to... In Search of Lost Time.
Thank you, yes. Anyway.
By Proust.
Proust. Proust. No one knows how to pronounce
Yeah.
it. We're all
You should
avoiding
have
his
changed your
last
name,
name.
Proust.
Proust. Proust. Proust.
So that's an inkling
That's
of
a
what's to
preview of
come.
what we're going to do. We're going to do episode 57, page 57, where it might appear my hair is longer and my beard is back. Oh, folks, we do like them at home, don't we?
We do. We certainly do.
Let's wrap it up here. Anything we wanted to bring into light, into darkness, into hell?
I don't know. I don't know if we have any words of wisdom for the people that are actually interviewing. The one thing about not having a job.
I'm ready to do.
Yeah, if you're a person who does not have a job and you're stuck taking whatever shitty job comes your way, you might have to take it. I mean, the only reason I have power to negotiate is because I have a job already that pays pretty well.
You're getting pay. Right?
Yeah. And if I didn't have a job, I'd probably take the next job that paid the same or less because I had to.
Income.
That's kind of the way the world works, so it kind of sucks in a way. So if you get a good job where you actually are enjoying yourself and making decent money.
Where do you fall in this? I have a theory because I work in a poor area, wear whatever I want. It's kind of, I almost said a means to an end. It's meager means.
Physical
you can't
labor.
write everything.
Yep.
It's physical labor. All my customers, I kind of know them all. Like everyone's a face, a person I know. When I apply to these jobs and these corporations and things, all I see is bullshit. Like,
yeah, I agree.
All I see is made up terms that I have to memorize and learn when to regurgitate them.
Acronyms.
Like I have to know when to say diversity and this thing, and then divulge upon the workplace and innovative, and I have to learn how to say synergy or something. Like I have to use it in a proper sentence to show that I know. And then I have to wear a fancy suit coat or a tie and like 8 other things, and freshly shave and wear my hair a certain way and act a certain way.
Pretend.
And pretend. And it's just so weird. And then when I do get the job, there's still stipulations where I have to show up and do certain things in certain ways that don't actually have to do with the job.
Yeah.
But it almost feels like the reason that was set up is to keep either poor, uneducated people out of it because
they don't know how to pretend. They don't know how to change their personality.
Yeah, they don't know the key words. They don't know. They can't afford the fancy clothes, and they don't know these key words. And if they do know them, it's hard to use them in an everyday sentence. So the people that have the advantage are ones who have all this time and money, and time and money. They get the better jobs, I guess.
The scary part is when an idiot gets a job and they take that persona and they continue it, and then they become one of the people that is just a company shill or a corporation shill. And then
and a manager, and they become a manager. Oh my God!
They nitpick everything, and there's no reason for it. It's just, can you do a function? Are you doing that function? Yes. I won't get on your back about it.
Right. Some
people do. Some people just take it too far, and they think they can control you. Those jobs are the worst.
Jackass.
Yeah.
You don't have any bad bosses, do you?
No. I can usually tell which bosses are bad now because I've been with the company so long. Yeah. If they say, can you work with, and then I go like, well, I'll look at it. And then I just avoid them as quickly as possible. I wait till they make the first misstep and I just dance around it. And
I can't. I was on a project previous, so I have to get to.
I was trying to help you with this, but you didn't provide me with the details in quick enough time. Now the time frame has shifted, and I just can't. I'm too busy. You see how quickly that comes out? And how honest it sounds?
That was good. That didn't sound honest.
Yeah.
Well played.
Total bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Well, and go to bed. Brush up on my bullshit.
Yeah. Get ready for your interview.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you for joining us. We enjoy your watching or listening, your reading, however it fits into our schedule.
We'll see
Monday,
how that looks
Thursday.
Next week when we do episode 57.
Yeah.
We'll see. It's going to be good, though.
Yeah. Good night.
Thanks a lot, folks. We like you. We like you a lot. Check dem socials. Try and get me fired before I even get hired, folks. Thanks.